Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Been a minute, huh? Yeah, so I was down in Florida, soaking up some sun, the whole vacation thing. But I'm back now, back in the studio, ready to spin you another yarn. This setup, man, it's got a vibe, right? Just perfect for these kinds of stories. So today I got a real doozy for you, and where the story originated and who it happened to. I'll weave it into my own words, the way you guys seem to like it. So let's get into today's story, shall we? The title of today's tale is The Dark Magic of Love. It's a story about an affair and, well, things get pretty twisted. So before we start, let's meet our characters. We got Mr. Anderson. Yeah, Mr. Anderson. And he's got two daughters, Emma and Sophia. Mr. Anderson, he's a government employee, works for the state. They live in Miami, somewhere in the suburbs. Now, Mr. Anderson, he's been real worried lately. See, Emma, his older daughter, she's been real sick for a few months now. Like 3-4 months, she's been losing weight, acting all weird, just collapsing out of nowhere. This thing started a few months back, and it's just been getting worse and worse. Mr. Anderson, he's taken her to every doctor in town, every specialist, but nothing. All the tests come back normal, but Emma, she's just getting worse. This all started around 2021, and Emma, she's just deteriorating. Mr. Anderson, he's at his wit's end. When the doctors couldn't find anything, the neighbors and relatives, they started saying, Mr. Anderson, you've tried everything medical. Maybe you should see this, this psychic, this spiritual guy, real famous. Maybe there's something else going on. Mr. Anderson, he didn't really believe in that stuff, but when you're desperate, you try anything, right? So the folks who recommended the psychic, they gave him the number. Mr. Anderson calls, and the psychic, Mr. Madison's assistant, picks up. Mr. Anderson tells him about Emma's problem and how he got the recommendation and wants to see Mr. Madison. The assistant says Mr. Madison's busy today, but he can schedule an appointment for the next day. So the next day, Mr. Anderson heads over to Mr. Madison's place. And man, there's a crowd. Mr. Anderson was told to bring a recent photo of Emma, so he got one printed out that day. Mr. Anderson sees Mr. Madison sitting in a small room. Mr. Anderson greets him and says, Mr. Madison, I'm here about my daughter. Mr. Madison asks, what's the problem? Mr. Anderson says, for the last 3-4 months, my daughter's been sick. She just suddenly got sick. Her hands and legs are weak. She collapses, and her behavior's changed. She screams at night, pulls her hair out. I don't know what's wrong. I've taken her to all the doctors, but everything's normal. Mr. Madison asks to see the photo. He looks at it, shows it to his assistant, and they exchange a look. Mr. Madison says, there's something going on here. We need to come to your house. Mr. Anderson's like, okay, when? Mr. Madison says, we'll come in 2 days. In the meantime, try to remember if Emma went anywhere 3.5 months ago. And think if you have any enemies. Mr. Anderson says, we don't have any enemies. Mr. Madison says, all right, you go home. We'll see you in 2 days. So, 2 days later, Mr. Anderson gets a call. It's Mr. Madison's assistant, saying they're on their way, about an hour out. Mr. Anderson offers to pick them up, but they just give him the address. So, Mr. Anderson heads over, meets Mr. Madison and his assistant, this guy named Anchor, at the bus stop. They all hop in Mr. Anderson's car, and they drive back to his place. Now, Mr. Anderson's house, it's a typical 2-story suburban home. They get inside, and Mr. Anderson's wife and Sophia are there to greet them. Mr. Madison asks about Emma, and they tell him she's upstairs. So, they head up. Now, Mr. Madison, he's a real experienced spiritual guy, And something weird happens as they're going up the stairs. He suddenly stops, like he's picking up on something. He starts looking around, real intense. Anchor and Mr. Anderson exchange a look, like, what's going on? Emma's room is at the end of the hall. The door's closed. As they get closer, Mr. Madison stops again, right at the door. He pulls out this, little pouch and starts sniffing. Real weird, right? Everyone's thinking, what the heck is he doing? Then he opens the door. Inside, Emma's lying on the bed, real thin and pale. Mr. Anderson had set up a chair for Mr. Madison, and Anchor stands off to the side. Mr. Anderson stands by the foot of the bed. Mr. Madison says, Emma, wake up. Emma opens her eyes, real slow, and looks at him. Mr. Madison says, say hello to the nice man. Emma says, hi. Mr. Ma. Dyson asks her, what's wrong, sweetheart? Emma says nothing. Mr. Madison says, "You've been sick for months." Emma says, "I'm fine." Mr. Madison says, "No, you're not. Tell me, did you go anywhere strange a few months ago?" Emma says, "No, I'm fine." Just then, Mr. Anderson's wife brings in a glass of water. Mr. Madison takes it, holds it in his hand, moves it around a bit, and gives it to Emma. He says, "Drink this, honey." Emma takes the glass, sniffs it, and throws it on the floor. Mr. Anderson's wife is shocked, and Mr. Anderson's about to lose it, but Mr. Madison holds up his hand, tells him to calm down. Then, he turns to Emma and says, "What did you say your name was?" Emma looks at him, confused. Mr. Madison says, "I'm not asking the girl's name, I'm asking your name." Everyone's freaking out, like, what's he talking about? Emma gets all angry and says, "Get this guy out of here, he's crazy." Then she starts yelling, "What are you gonna do? What can you do to me? You and your sidekick, you ain't leaving here alive." Everyone's shocked. Emma's voice has changed. It's all deep and raspy, like she's possessed or something. Mr. Madison says, "You're not gonna tell me, huh? Fine, do what you gotta do." He reaches into his pouch, pulls out something, says some words, and blows on Emma. She just goes limp, like a rag doll, and falls back on the bed. Mr. Madison tells Anchor to lift her up, and they sit her up. Mr. Anderson's wife is crying, and Mr. Anderson's like, "What was that?" Mr. Madison says, "Your daughter's possessed. There's a spirit in her. That's why she's been sick. We need to find out what it is." Mr. Anderson's freaking out, but Mr. Madison tells him not to worry. They'll figure it out. He tells Mr. Anderson's wife to leave the room, and they start talking. So, Mr. Anderson's wife leaves the room, and it's just them. Mr. Madison, Anchor, and Mr. Anderson. Mr. Madison and Anchor are talking in hushed tones, and Mr. Anderson is standing there, a nervous wreck, wondering what's going on. Then suddenly, Emma sits up again, just like before. Her hair's all messed up, and she's got this creepy look on her face. Mr. Madison says, "You again? Who are you?" Emma says, "You want to know who I am? Ask this dog." She points at Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson's jaw drops. His own daughter calling him a dog? He's losing it. Mr. Madison says, "Okay, who are you?" Emma says, "I'm Velma. Velma." Mr. Anderson's world just stopped. Velma? How did she know about Velma? He never told anyone. So, Mr. Anderson's thinking, what the heck is going on? Mr. Madison turns to him and says, "Mr. Anderson, who's Velma? This has something to do with you, doesn't it? This is why your daughter's suffering." Mr. Anderson is just standing there, speechless, ashamed. Mr. Madison turns back to Emma, or whoever's inside her, and says, "Tell me, what's your beef with him?" Emma says, "He owes me money, $5,000. I loaned it to him. I needed it for my kid, but I gave it to him. He never paid me back. My kid's living on the streets because of him." Then she goes limp again, falls back on the bed. Mr. Madison turns to Mr. Anderson and says, "You gotta pay her back, man. That's the only way she'll leave your daughter alone." Mr. Anderson says, Yeah, I'll pay her. Just tell her to leave my daughter alone." Mr. Madison does his thing, says some words, and tells Emma, or Velma, that Mr. Anderson will pay her back. He, asks if she'll leave, and she says, "Fine." Emma goes limp again like she's passed out. Mr. Madison and Anchor are talking, shaking their heads. They're like, "Man, some people, huh?" Mr. Madison tells Mr. Anderson, "Get the money together. That's the only way to fix this." Everyone's thinking it's over, but then Emma sits up again, even creepier than before. Mr. Madison's like, "Not again. Who is it this time?" Emma says, "Bartholomew. Bartholomew's here." Mr. Madison is confused. "Bartholomew? Who's that?" Emma says, "He saw an open door, so he walked through. He ain't leaving." Mr. Madison's like, "What are you talking about? There ain't no open door." Emma says, "Yeah, there is. And there's a whole line of people behind him." Mr. Madison and Anchor look at each other, real worried. They realize what's happening. Emma's body isn't just possessed, it's become a gateway. Some kind of dark ritual, some black magic, has turned her into a door for spirits. They can come and go as they please, and when one leaves, another one takes its place. Mr. Madison knows he's got to do something. And fast. He goes into a trance, calls on some powerful spirits, some beings he knows. They're like his backup, you know? He tells them to seal Emma's body, to close the door. They start doing their thing. and it's all weird and spooky. Then, he calls on another spirit, a tracker. He tells it to find the source of this dark magic, to find out who did this. He sends it out, and it disappears. Mr. Anderson is freaking out, wondering what's happening. So, this tracker spirit, it comes back real quick, whispers something to Mr. Madison. Mr. Madison nods, and then he turns to Mr. Anderson. Your daughter, he says. She's safe now. We've sealed the gateway, but this ain't over. We need to find out who did this. Mr. Anderson is still trying to wrap his head around everything. Who did what? He asks. Mr. Madison explains. Someone performed a dark ritual, turned your daughter into a doorway for spirits. That's why she's been sick, why her behavior's been changing. These spirits, they're feeding off her energy, making her weaker. We need to find the source of this magic and stop it. He then asks Emma, who's now just laying there. Are you Emma now? Emma nods weakly. Mr. Madison has her sit up and asks, do you remember anything from the past few months? Emma shakes her head. No, it's all blurry. Mr. Madison asks her, did you go anywhere strange, do anything unusual? Emma says, no, nothing I can think of. Mr. Madison asks, any new friends? Any new relationships? Emma hesitates, then starts to cry. There's this guy, she says. His name's Cody. We've been seeing each other for a few years. I wanted to introduce him to my parents, but he kept putting it off. Then a few months ago, he just stopped calling. That's when I started feeling sick. Mr. Madison calls his tracker spirit again, tells it to find Cody, find out everything about him. The spirit disappears, then returns a few minutes later, whispering to Mr. Madison. Mr. Madison nods, then turns to Mr. Anderson. Your daughter's boyfriend, he says. He's involved in this. He's the one who had the ritual performed. Mr. Anderson is shocked. Cody? But why? Mr. Madison says. We'll find. D out. We're going to his place now. You coming? So, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Madison, and Anchor head out. They drive to this rundown apartment complex on the edge of town. They find Cody's apartment, and Mr. Madison knocks on the door. Cody opens it, looking surprised. What do you want? He asks. Mr. Madison says, we need to talk. They go inside, and Mr. Madison gets straight to the point. You had a ritual performed on Emma, he says. Why? Cody looks nervous. I don't know what you're talking about, he says. Mr. Madison says, don't lie. We know everything. Cody sighs. Fine, he says. I did it. I was desperate. Emma kept pressuring me to meet her parents, to get married. I wasn't ready. I just wanted her to back off for a while. So you used black magic? Mr. Anderson asks, his voice trembling. Cody nods. I didn't know it would be this bad, he says. I just wanted her to leave me alone. Mr. Madison says, you messed with something you shouldn't have. Now, you're going to fix it. So, Cody, he's sweating bullets, realizing the mess he's gotten himself into. Mr. Madison, he's not messing around. He pulls out this little kit, all these weird herbs and crystals, and starts setting up. He says, this is gonna be messy, Cody. You ready? Cody just nods, his eyes wide with fear. Mr. Madison starts chanting, this low, guttural sound, and the air in the apartment gets thick, like it's charged. The lights flicker, and a cold breeze sweeps through the room. Cody starts shaking, and then he starts screaming. It's like something's being pulled out of him, this dark, heavy energy. Mr. Madison keeps chanting, and the screaming gets louder, then fades into a whimper. Finally, it stops. Cody collapses on the floor, panting. Mr. Madison takes a deep breath, wipes his forehead. It's done, he says. The ritual's been reversed. Emma's gonna be okay. He turns to Cody, who's still on the floor. You messed with some powerful stuff, kid. Don't ever do that again. They get Cody up, and Mr. Madison says, now we gotta make sure this never happens again. He pulls out a small silver amulet and hands it to Emma, who had been brought to the apartment. Wear this, he says. It'll protect you from any future dark magic. Then he turns to Mr. Anderson. You and your daughter need to have a serious talk, he says. This whole mess could have been avoided if you'd been honest with each other. They head back to Mr. Anderson's house, and Emma is already looking much better. The pallor is gone from her face, and she's got a bit of her old spark back. Mr. Anderson, he's just relieved, but also a little ashamed. He sits down with Emma, and they talk for hours. They talk about Cody, about their relationship, about everything they'd been keeping from each other. And you know what? It's not just about the dark magic. It's about trust, about communication. If they'd just been honest with each other, none of this would have happened. So, the moral of the story, folks? Don't mess with black magic, and don't keep secrets from your family. Talk to each other, be honest, and you'll avoid a whole lot of trouble. And hey, if you're feeling pressured in a relationship, talk about it. Don't resort to dark rituals. Trust me, it never ends well. And that's the story of the dark magic of love. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with another twisted tale.